have to go up. Why is it so down? Is it off? Is it on? There it is. It's on. Okay, so no, hold on just a second. Anyway,
I belched that onion.
Yeah.
I'm actually eating pineapple. A minute ago with salt on it. So. Sorry. So I was supposed to give a sermon tonight, but Monday I called my dad, and I was just brutally honest with myself and with him, and I didn't think I was ready because I have not been in my word.
Right.
You can't get a word if you're not in it.
Amen. Come on, somebody.
And I haven't been in it, and I could say, oh, because of this, because of this. My life has been a bit hectic. I'm pregnant, my husband's injured, we got a 13-year-old, you know. It's been a bit hectic, and then I work a full-time job. So, you know, I have a bunch of stuff going on, but I let it get in the way of me being in my word. And I had no time to prepare for a sermon and feel prepared for a sermon. But Dad still wanted me to say something. So, what I'm going to talk about is my husband.
Yes, sir.
I was just sitting, I was thinking about stuff to talk about, and I feel like I have been in a season of thankfulness, which this was like lightly on what I thought I might do a sermon on at one point, but I just wasn't prepared for an entire sermon. But I'll talk a little bit about what I feel like I heard from the Lord. I have been in a season of just getting humbled and being thankful for everything that I have. And one of my main examples of being thankful that God has given me is my husband. For example, Josh calls me, and he's not very good at relaying like a message to where you like won't worry, you know. He calls me, and I'm sitting at Dad's house. I've got to be here at 6 for practice, and I'm in for a potluck. It was for a potluck, not practice. It was for the couple's potluck. Josh was going to meet me down here. We were going to go, and I was stealing some of the barbecue beforehand out of Dad's fridge. Josh goes, "Hey, I might have to go to the hospital." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, I'm probably going to go to the hospital. Just look at my Snapchat. Love you, bye." So immediately, share what's going on. And I open the Snapchat he sends me. I only have Snapchat for one reason. That's because Josh and I have almost a 300-day streak on Snapchat. And that's the only thing I use it for. I send Josh one Snapchat a day, and that's it. And that's the only reason I have it. So he sends me a Snapchat of his thumb, or what appeared to have been a thumb at some point. And so I'm freaking out, and I call him, and I text him, "Holy crap, Josh, what the heck happened?" I didn't say heck, I was freaking out a little bit when texting him. I said that word. Forgive me. But he, so I was freaking out, and he called me back. He tells me what hospital he was going to, kind of gives me a rundown of what happened. He was doing something called shearing, and it's got presses on it, and it made the metal bounce up. And when the metal bounced up, it went over his thumb and clamped down on it. When the press hit, it flattened his thumb, shattered the tip of it.
Oh.
And I get to the hospital. It's like an hour away because he works at Anston, so they take him to where? Coleman, that's the word. They take him to a hospital in Coleman. I get there, I'm worried half the time. I cried on my way there because I was worried about his hand. I didn't know what was going on. And he shows it to me, and he's laughing.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, perfectly fine. And I was like, okay, so this isn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. Well, we get back there, they take the nail off, and I see this piece. This bottom where your fingerprint is, that skin, it just went, and I was like, and I had to turn around, I was at the floor. And Josh is just in this horrific, like, writhing pain at this point. The doctor comes in, and I about saw Josh lose his temper for a second because he said, "We'll get them to bring you another dose of pain medication." Josh goes, "I had no pain medication." And they've taken his nail off and started stitching it, but he was so mangled that the doctor gave up on stitching it. They brought him, you know, some heavy painkillers after that. Josh said, I had no pain medication. But the entire time that we're in the hospital, and he's in that room and he's in horrific pain, like almost to tears. His fingers just shattered. There's blood everywhere. I mean, like there was a lot of blood everywhere. And he was just like, you know, I just thank God that it wasn't worse. I just thank God that I still have my hand.
Yes, sir.
I thank God that this didn't completely sever off my thumb. And I'm like, I would be losing my mind right now. And it gets to the point where Josh he's kind of introverted. He's like a mix of an introvert and extrovert. But when he is not feeling good, that introvert comes out. He's not vibing. He don't want to talk to nobody, and he feels awful right now. And he's like trying to still be nice to me at the same time. And I'm like, you gotta worry about it. But he about starts crying, and he starts praying out loud in the hospital room. I mean, like people can probably hear him. And I was like, he is in pain, and they still haven't brought me painkillers at this point. So like I was like, ooh. And so I start kind of like rubbing his back, and I'm trying to pray over him at the same time, you know. But he just kept talking about how thankful he was. I mean, even when he was almost to tears, that God didn't, you know, God saved his hand. That it could be worse. He could have been in a position where he'd be like, you know, they could have immediately had to take him back for surgery. And that's all we talked about for a couple of days. Well, thank God it wasn't as bad as it could have been. And right before he got injured, I had been thinking about everything that I have. At 20 years old, I bought a house.
You did.
Because of my job. I've paid off one car and I bought another car. Even though when I was 16 and I was an idiot and I was doing drugs, I came back home and I was failing the 11th grade. I got to redo 2 grades in like 2 semesters and still finish high school on time. And I look at all the things that God has given me, and I'm like, I don't deserve any of this. And I was talking to Malik about it one night. I said, man, Malik, we don't deserve the houses that we have. We don't deserve the jobs that we have, the vehicles we have, and the spouses that we have. I said, we don't deserve any of it. Like, we're not, you know, we're not worth it. But like, he gives it to us anyway. And I was also thinking about this baby. And when I was like 17 or 18, I finally like started thinking about, I really, really want to be a mom. And that's all I've ever wanted. And I was in a bad relationship with a guy I wouldn't commit, and he would not come to church, and we lived together. I knew Barbara doesn't like him. A lot of people don't like him. But yeah, I'm praying that he gets what's best for him. You know, he gets everything that he, you know, the Lord wants him to have. But just not good timing. You know, he's not where he needs to be, and I'm trying to get where I need to be. And we broke up, and I was like, screw man, I don't like nobody, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna do my own thing. And I had no plans. I talked to Marilyn about it one time, and I had mentioned it a couple of times. I was not going to leave my parents' house anytime soon.
Amen.
I mean, like, I was thinking like 25. Like, I was going to be living there, and I was just going to save. I wasn't, because I wasn't going to live alone. But I didn't want no man, you know, and then a big bearded fella came along. And I remember I was laying in the floor, and he was messing with me, and we're supposed to be just friends, and he was at the house, and he had drugged me by my foot through the living room into the kitchen and left me on the floor of the kitchen. And I looked at Marilyn and Hannah, and I said, I am suffering. I like this man a lot. And anyway, so we ended up dating, and then like a year later, where we'd gotten married, I bought a house, and we got a baby on the way. And I had prayed for God to send me the kind of man that I needed. And the thing is, though, is when me and Josh get together, Josh was not in the place he needed to be. And sometimes it takes people a really long time to get where they need to be. But God transformed Josh within like 6 months to this, God-fearing, Bible-thumping, holy rolling Jesus that I needed. And Josh has been the man that I've needed. And I now I'm about to get to be, a mom of 2. I've got, one downstairs, he's in the nursery, and I get to have my own baby, and he, he's taking care of other people here. Anyway, but everything I have is such a blessing, and I don't deserve it. I prayed for this baby. The day that I found out I was pregnant, I remember I had a pregnancy test in the car. I already told Josh I was going to take a test, and I was cramping all day. And I was like, so I'm probably not pregnant, But I just kept praying. I said, God, please let this be a baby. And I cried and I prayed my whole way home. I took the test, it was positive. I nearly fell out on the floor. Not gonna lie. And it was really hard to hide it from my parents, but for a little bit, but I had to. And then I prayed for a girl. God knew the desires of my heart. He knew I wanted a girl real bad. I wanted a baby girl. And not because I wanted a girl, but because I wanted to see Josh be a girl dad. I really did. And I do, and I'm excited. And we're having a girl. And I've gotten everything that I've asked for, like, tenfold. I'm more blessed than anything. And, one of the reasons that I'm reminded of that is because I wake up next to him every day.
Oh.
Because I am bad about forgetting what I've got. And I let my stress be like, everything's awful, And then I'll complain about something and Josh will just go, well, thank God it's at least not this way. And he humbles me on a daily basis. I'm blessed to have my husband. And I think that we should all keep in mind that even when stuff feels crappy, Josh has screwed up his hand, and you think of Job in the Bible, he lost everything, but he still praised him anyway. He's still thankful for what he did have.
Come on.
So that's where I feel like I'm at right now. It's like God is humbling me to be thankful for even the tiniest things.
Amen.
Because I've got some very big things to be thankful for as well.
That's right.
Woo! That's what I got to say. I gotta grab the other microphone. I'm gonna be the orange one. Orange. That's what I'm talking. I'm not breaking.